Hey, it's Carrie with Reseller Revenue. We're going to talk about my what solds in the last like 8 or 9 days, mostly vintage costume jewelry. If you haven't seen my videos before, I should be hitting 250K gross sales in all in costume jewelry for this year for 2025 here this week. I think we're going to hit the 250K mark. So really excited about it. Yes, I understand those are just gross sales, but I'm always transparent and I share my net numbers all the time and I share my struggles and everything else. With reselling, I resell completely on eBay. So if you sell on eBay, I think we could all learn something from each other. And hopefully, if you sell jewelry on eBay, even better, and we can really learn from each other. So first, I'm going to tell you a few different things that you may or may not care about, but anybody in my age group might get a chuckle out of this. I don't know. I got myself an Insta360 camera to do these recordings a while back. And I didn't know you had to like download the software to it. So this whole time I've been like trying to like adjust my camera by move my head around, practically standing on, my head trying to get this thing to work. And apparently I just need to install the software and now it works great. But I'd read on the internet that you just have to put the L up for zooming and stuff, which now it'll do because I have the software installed. But I was like, I mean, I would probably look like such a goober over here putting my L up on my screen and nothing's happening. And we used to like it just had me flashback when we were kids and used to do dumb stuff like that. But anyway, it was probably really comical, but unfortunately I didn't have the record on. Next time I'll try to catch that for you. And this like camera's like looks like little R RTD2, like little robot thing. It flips around and stuff. I don't know. It's crazy. Not real technologically inclined. And then I turned around to grab something and my back popped so loud I thought maybe I wasn't gonna recover from it. But turns out I'm just old and crackly, I guess. So hopefully you guys have had a good weekend. My weekends look about like all my other days of the week. How do you guys structure your weekends? Do you work during the weekends? Do you try to take it off with family? Do you relax? If I try to fit everything I do for reselling in 5 days, I don't think I'd make it, and I don't think I'd. I don't have small kids at home, and we've always been farmers. And other livestock farmers especially will be able to relate to the fact that our days are all the same amount of work. The livestock needs fed, livestock needs taken care of. There's always something that needs fixed. So I don't know, my world on Saturdays and Sundays are about the same as usual. I do try to like go out for dinner with my husband once a week or something if time allows. Some weeks it doesn't. So last night we went to a Bruce Springsteen tribute concert. It was really fun. And I was sitting around thinking like, wow, I'm like the youngest one in this place, like look at all these old people really enjoying themselves and up dancing. And then I started thinking to myself, I'm like, I think I'm one of the old people, but it kind of hit me funny. I was like, well, I felt that way at my Elton John tribute thing I went to a while back too, but now I'm looking back thinking, I wonder if I am one of those older people. But anyway, I had a really great time. And I got my work done before we left. And then today I've spent I got 60 listings up yesterday because I did 10 junk boxes. And then today I got 50 up. I had scheduled out 20. So Monday through Thursday, at least 3 of those days, I try to do 20 extra listings and schedule them for Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, just to kind of make it not quite so much work on the weekends. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, but I really try to. But I do launch 50 live Monday, Monday through Sunday. So every single day of the week, I do 50 live. So it's been working pretty good. Um, I try to have my processes in place so that I'm getting it done. Usually I can get the 50 done before the morning call. So, I mean, in a couple hours, I can knock them out. I take about a minute to 15 seconds for a minute to a minute 15 seconds for pictures and a minute 15 seconds for listings. Usually faster, but I mean, I would say that that's probably research a whole lot on the fly because I try to front load my research, before I buy it. But anyway, it's hectic. And anybody that's like thinking about going full time, you can absolutely make a living out of doing this full time, but it is a lot of work. And if I would just drop off even a day or two, not a scheduled vacation because everybody needs those, but like, oh, I just don't feel like it today. I've got some drafts and it can just really mess up my cash flow. I've seen it happen. So I really tried to not only have the 50 a day listing goal for money, but I do it for myself because it holds myself accountable. And this is my job. This is what pays my bills. So I need to make sure that I'm holding myself accountable and being consistent. So, I also see people on the weekends, it's like, okay, I want to relax, I want to work, or I do my sourcing on the weekends. Just make sure if you're making the weekends your sourcing weekends, that you are sourcing because you need to for your business and not just because it's a habit to do on the weekends. I see a lot of people sourcing and showing everything they're picking up, all the, garage sales, community sales, flea markets they're going to, my car's full, and I look and they're, maybe less than 4 or 5 a day. So make sure your sourcing habits align with your reselling habits. And a lot of times they don't. And then all your money's just sitting in a pile somewhere. So make sure those numbers are aligning, because I see a whole lot of sourcing, less listing, and or yeah, and even less selling. So really we should be sourcing, listing, selling, and having our thing keep going up, but it doesn't really seem to work that way. So just make sure that we're doing that. So um eBay's not broken, guys. I've been having some good sales. It's been a really great weekend. Last week wasn't too bad. Week before that, I was still recovering from vacation, so it was a little bit slow. But I just want you guys to know, like, eBay's not broken. I think when I pulled up my performance summary for this weekend since Friday, I was at 99 sold. So I'll break 100 sold for the weekend. Let me share my screen here. See if I can get this to work with my new software I'm using. Okay, we don't need that. So this is for the weekend. This is what I've done this weekend. And as you can see, this is since Friday. So we do have 3 days. It's not just 2 days. I was trying to be really transparent here. And I've had $3,357.48 since Friday. And that was, since last time I hit generate report. And, of course, we've got this tax collected by eBay at $224.30. And my selling costs were $1298.69. So my net sales were $1834.49. So do I get to keep all this $3,000? That would be great, right? And it sure sounds good, but no, I don't. But that's okay, because my cost of goods are really low. So to come out of this net sales is my cost of goods and my business expenses. I know my numbers. I'm going to be fine. This was a good weekend. So like I said, there's my quantity sold was 99. I don't put a whole lot of stock into ASP, because if I sell some junk boxes, those are $20 a piece to ship. And if you sell a couple heavy items with large shipping, it really skyrockets the ASP. So I just really don't pay attention to it. Um, I didn't have the repeat buyers this weekend that I'm going after. However, I had the repeat buyers I did have place big orders. So I was happy about that. And hey, bring on those new buyers. I'm all about new buyers. So here we can see the breakdown of this and the shipping labels. So I charged, there was $376.82 for shipping and handling. My actual shipping costs were $395.24. However, I do offer free shipping over $50, and I take that into consideration when I'm doing things. That's fine. It's built into my system. I think it does get me a lot of multi-quantity orders, and I'm cool with that. But I do keep an eye on, what's coming in for shipping versus what's going out for shipping. So do keep an eye on that, because you don't want to be behind. So here, what we're going to talk about, my what solds. This time period is going to be over 9 days, and that's because I'm catching them both weekends, because I didn't do a video last week for this, so I wanted to catch them. So this was a 9-day period, not just a 7. My total sales were $8,865.49. My selling costs were $3,497.72, which includes shipping. My net sales were $4,829.21. I will take that. That's great. I sold 266 items. That's awesome. I'm happy with that. I had total buyers of 199, and 16 of those were repeat buyers. So I, of course, want these numbers to always go up, 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 but I can't control them, so I just keep an eye on them. Then here I'll check. I collected $1,105.43 in my shipping, and my shipping labels cost me $1,048.97. So overall, I'm still up on my shipping, which helps me, offset my cost of my labels and my boxes and things like that. So I'm happy with that. That is just great. So now I'm going to share some of my sales that I had from that week, and I'm going to kind of start at the lower end and build my way up. Hopefully that works. This was just cool. It wasn't that it sold for so much money, but it was big and it was chunky and it was made out of a fork, and it had a cool scorpion in it. Who doesn't want a cool scorpion, right? This was it was just neat. It was a big bracelet. It wasn't sterling or anything, but like I said, that's a fashion statement. It's unique. It sold for $66.44. And of course it shipped free because it was over the $50. Here we have, which brings me to a really good point here, is I had a negative comment on YouTube about mispronouncing Schiaparelli, which I did. Totally true. Guilty as charged. But I mean, the facts are, and the way it is it's gonna get worse, guys. I'm the first one to admit that I mispronounce things. And it used to keep me from recording things because I'd be afraid to say like Swarovski. I'd be afraid to say it because I know I don't say it right. So I just didn't want to say anything because I didn't want everybody to make fun of me and stuff. Now I just like I do the best I can. So that's all I can do. But it's the sadness of me mispronouncing things is not over, guys. It's gonna be like a never-ending tragedy story. So I'm very sorry if that makes you not want to watch. But I'm just a normal reseller like you guys. I'm not an expert. I'm learning all the time. So these here you can see are signed with the swan on them, and they were very, very pretty, and they sold for $69.99. I'm also aware that some of these I took an offer on, and if they don't have the cross out thing in them, I don't always know, and I don't always remember, and I don't have time to go back and fix it. So if I'm off a little bit, I apologize, but I try to catch that. So here's a little lot of Monet jewelry I made. These are just things I didn't want to mess with individually listing. Do I think that I could have got more individually listing? Sure, I probably could have. I'm very happy with $70 for that lot. And they were just gold tones. Some of them were basic. So I like selling little lots. I only make these small lots if they present themselves while I'm doing an estate or a large lot. Like I don't have any of these cluttery drawers of like, oh, there's some bangles. I'm going to make a lot someday. Here's some Monet. I'm going to make a lot someday. Here's some faux pearls, because who doesn't want a whole lot of faux pearls that aren't good enough to list by themselves, right? Or green jewelry, God forbid, red jewelry, blue jewelry. Like who doesn't want a whole entire lot of blue jewelry they didn't get it individually picked by themselves? You know what I'm saying? They don't sell very well in colors because who really wants either reseller or a collector, all red, all pink, all purple? Does it happen? Yes, it does happen. In my opinion, I think it's hard to sell small lots that way. So if you hear the heavy breathing, it's my old Frenchie beside me. She's a heavy breather, and she's also a snorer, but right now she's panting, heavy breathing. So I apologize, but she's here and not going to go anywhere. So she is my furry little coworker. I have 3 of them in here. All right, so here's a Jafari birthday ribbon bracelet. I got this while we were on our sourcing trip. And if you don't know what a birthday ribbon bracelet is, pay attention because these things always sell fast and they always sell for good money. So it's just that this is the ribbon shape, and then there's all different colors of rhinestones that will come in them, and that is the tells you what birthday month it is. So um, some colors seem to sell faster and for more money than others. This was the bracelet. It was $112.49 and it sold in a couple days. So I was very happy with that. And they were all in really good shape, the ones I got there too. So this is an Eisenberg ice brooch. I listed this September 22nd. So it's been listed a little while. It was in really beautiful condition, nice brooch. Uh, but it didn't sell at the original price. It sold at $59.81. I'm happy with that. My cost of goods is low across the board. I rarely for a regular brooch like this am I going to pay over $5 for it. So very happy. And lots of times I get lucky and I get them for much cheaper. So I love selling pocket watch fobs. You guys know that about me. This one was a nice one too. This is one of those items that I just know the person that gets it's going to be really pleased with it. It was really nice. It was in good condition. It was well made, and it was at $86.38. I do believe it sold pretty quick too. Well, I listed it sat there about a month to sell. I think I had it overpriced. I do that if you guys haven't noticed. This sold really quickly for full price. So maybe people like to play that game like, oh, I could have got more. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I could have, but this sold instantly and I got it in a junk lot and I saw the Oddfellows mark on it. It was super little. See how tiny it is? It was in the bottom of a junk bag. So I didn't hardly pay anything for it. I priced it at 90 bucks. It sold the same day I listed it. That's fine. I hope somebody really enjoys it. And if they're resellers, they can sell it for more. Good for them too. Doesn't bother me a bit. Feel free to shop my store, Plush and Much, anytime you want. Buy from me and flip it, makes lots of money off me. That's awesome. Go for it. This was a KJL starfish brooch, and not much else I can say about it. Oh, it's blue. People like blue. And it sold for 106.36. It took it a little over a month. I listed it on, well, no, 2 months. I listed it September 25th. Again, I think I was overpriced, to be honest. I should stop doing that because I tell people not to do that. But this one, I thought I was a little overpriced, but it sold in a couple days. It was beautiful though. And this is another one. When they get it, I know they're going to love it. It was just really nice quality. It had all the beaded caps. It had the right closure on it with the barrel clasp. If you don't know what a wedding cake bead is, it's this little raised. See how it's got raised. I don't know the correct word for that. So somebody's going to correct me, but and I can't think of it right now. Anyway, it's got the little wedding cake pink raised. I don't know. It's not paint, but you know what I'm talking about, glass or whatnot. Very nice. I'm sure they're going to be happy with it. I love selling things that people are going to be happier with it than they thought they were going to be. I like having it be a pleasant surprise. This I listed on November 1st. Super cool. I did take an offer for this at 115, which I know is a lot lower. I do think the person that bought it's a reseller, and that's fine with me. It was really cool. I loved it. It was an old sweetheart bracelet. I haven't seen one like it. And he bought another lot for me that actually had another little sweetheart thing in it. And if you're willing to pay and buy more than one thing for me at a time, I'll make a deal with you. And I didn't have, I think I paid $5 or $6 for this because it was in such bad shape. I think they just thought it wasn't worth anything. But I saw that it was a World War II sweetheart bracelet and I wanted it. This next thing, came in a junk lot and it was in rough shape. So I understand why it was in a junk bag. I paid $10, I think, for the junk bag, the whole entire junk bag. And I pulled a few good things out of it. But this thing had personality. Do I think maybe it had more value? It might have. But I'm always saying, I'm not going to spend an hour trying to clean that up. I'm just not. I don't have an hour. I'm not, it's only worth what somebody's willing to pay for it. It has so much personality. I think hopefully whoever gets it's going to love it. But I made sure to take lots of pictures so that they knew that there's definite work that needs done. And here it was missing a jump ring. Pretty easy fix. I don't even fix that, guys. I leave it. Whoever buys it can fix it. And I still got, I won't, yeah, that might have been 139, 119. I want to say I took an offer for 119 on that. Either way, it flipped really fast. So I listed this November 11th. So in less than a week, it sold. And I feel like that's really good price for being in a junk lot. This also, I paid hardly anything for it because I'm not so sure I think this was with that Odd Fellows thing that I got. I'm pretty sure it was in the bottom of that bag. I love this was the Grand Army of the Republic. And it's gold filled, had lots of personality. I knew it would sell to the right collector. And it sold for $212.49. Very happy with that price. I listed it November 1st. And this would be my high sale for the time. I think I took an offer of 190 on this. Maybe 210. I might have gotten 210 out of this. Anyway, this was the necklace that matched the bracelet, which brings up the, forever ending story of like, do we split sets? And I absolutely do when it's warranted. So if there were earrings, I probably would have put the earrings with the bracelet. However, splitting the necklace and the bracelet, I think I did get more money than if I would have put them together. Could I held out for more money with them together? Of course I could have. I split them when they both have really good value on their own. And so together I got way over 300, right at $300, I guess, for both of them. And I don't know if I could have pulled that off with the set. So very happy with this. I'm happy with my week. And in general, this week for the group, if you don't know, check us out at Reseller Revenue on Patreon. We meet Monday through Thursday at 9 o'clock Central Time. And I always have a topic and there's also other calls, like Larry does a repair fix-it shop. He teaches us about golf clubs. He teaches us about fixing stuff. So we have different people with different expertises talk all the time. Monday and Tuesday, I usually do a topic. This week, Monday, we're finishing up our business rules, just explaining about business rules. And then we will spend the next couple weeks talking about what those rules are and maybe brainstorming together. So like we go over what's your shipping policy? What's your sourcing policy? Do you only pick up things worth so much profit? Do you only pick up so much worth certain listing value? Just writing things down for yourself. It's basically like a Dear Diary resellers. And it goes through, I think I have, I want to say there's 6 pages I made of these. And they're just things to think about. There's no right or wrong answer. The right answer is whatever works for you. That's what the answer is. But by us discussing it all together, you come up with ideas maybe you wouldn't have thought of before, or maybe you think of just different ways you can implement different things, or maybe we also take our baseline times of our like photography process, listing progress. And then I keep them if people want me to keep them on file, and we can look back. Like we can look back on last year's because we did this last year and see, yeah, we improved or are we still making progress, all that good stuff. So anyway, and then Tuesday, so always the week after, like the week of the 15th, we always do the Monday previously's numbers. You don't have to show your numbers out loud, but we talk about, did we notice traffic difference? Did we try anything new? How did it impact our sales? If you don't know how to track your numbers or what numbers we like to track, we'll go over that with you. Where do you find those numbers? What do they mean? So we always try to recap the month before. The week of the 15th kind of gives us some time to tie up loose ends if you have to reflect back on anything. So that's what we're doing. Then Wednesday, we always do hits and misses. We talk about what's the best of the previous week and what was the worst of the week. And this doesn't have to be sales. This could be a sourcing trip. This could be a business transaction. This could be a customer service issue. So it's basically what your highs and lows were of the week before. And then Thursdays, right now, we're doing free coaching. So if you're inside the group and you would like me to do a one-on-one coaching session, just like I would if you paid for it, as long as you'll let me share it in the group, it will not be on YouTube because I know people kind of want their privacy on that, but it will be inside the Patreon group so we can all learn. I will go through your listings, tell you what I would change, pricing, things like that. Also, you get to give me your financial goals. So let's say you want to make $4,000 a month net. We will work your numbers backwards. What does that mean? How many do you have to have listed? How much net profit do you have to be pulling out? Things like that. And we'll work those backwards and get you a plan together. No real like shortcuts or anything. It's more of like just a really good analysis of where you're at and where you could be going. So we do that. And there are a few private coaching lessons left before the first of the year. Not very many, but there's a few left. So if you'd like private coaching, one-on-one coaching with me, and it doesn't have to be jewelry. I do it in all different aspects. I feel like I can really help jewelry sellers though, because that's what I do the most. That's kind of where my expertise lies. But I've been doing this with other sellers for quite a while now, a couple of years. I mean, so I know clothes, I know shoes, all antiques, I know this stuff. So the way that works is it's $50 if you're a group member, it's $75 if you are a non-group member. And then we just find a time we meet on a private Zoom link and we discuss what you want to discuss. I will also send you a packet if you would like me to kind of get some thoughts processed of what you would like to talk about. So anyway, check us out, Reseller Revenue Patreon. I think there's a 50% off your first month promo going on now. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, all the great things. And let me know down below, what would you like to hear about? Like, do you like the what solds? Would you like to get some deep dives for brands? Is there anything I can teach you that you would really like to know about? Because I am happy to help. I'm getting ready to record right now a brooches for bunches, I think is what I called it. And I kind of went in looking at Coro because I feel like Coro's kind of on the way up a little bit. Like I see some Coro stuff going from way more than it did last year this time. And so I was deep diving into that, but then I like found some brooches that were just kind of out of the ordinary that I thought, I don't know if I would have caught that. And I don't ever include things that are like 14 karat gold. We know 14 karat gold is, worthy of picking up. I don't usually include like the really old Trifari or the Chanel or the Gucci. Like we know that. Like we don't usually need help with that. It's the things that maybe we would miss, but that I feel like we can still all find. So I'm getting ready to record that right now. I so appreciate you guys and tune back in for the next one.